you talking about some go back to your country, you need to go back to your country.
Right.
You ain't
Because you ain't from here.
You ain't
Because
from
the
here.
Indians will tell you quickly. Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get us started so I can get some people tagged in.
I forgot my charger.
Come on.
No, I got a different kind of charger, dude. Oh, I see you, Tom.
You feel me? Let me put Haywood. What's he saying?
I shared it to my story, so.
Did I get you in?
Yeah.
Mike, let me get you in. You're in from there, but I don't think I have you tagged in.
I shared it to my.
We'll be with you 1 second, guys. Hey guys, just give us a minute. We're just getting set up here. And Mike, if you stay like that and I move over a little bit, we'll be fine tonight. I'm sorry. I forgot we were on air. Give us 1 minute. I just want to get a few people on, okay? So give us 1 minute here. Let me see who's out there tonight.
They should. You know, one thing that I don't like about Facebook, they should, instead of giving you 3 seconds to get ready, they need to give you more like 30 seconds countdown so you can tag people into the group.
Right.
Because it's so hard to do that.
It is. So this is the part that it is very difficult. Because I go on live on Monday nights, I'll be like, come on.
They should give you a better way to get tagged in.
Exactly.
All right.
I'm just tagging some more people. Then we got a couple of minutes before we get started.
Okay.
And then we'll go ahead and do what it do. All right, guys, we're going to be with you in just 1 second. Just let me get, let me bring a few more people in, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, that should hold us for now. So, hey, everybody, what time is it? It is 7. So let's go ahead and get started. Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
I'm Tom.
I'm Mike.
And Haywood over there,
Yes, I am.
Mr. X's and O's.
The podcast
show.
That's right. Pull it up for Eagle football.
Welcome to the Men with Vision radio show. So I posted this a couple of days ago, guys, that we've changed the name to our radio show. It's no longer the Men with Vision, Day in the Life of Men. It's just now the Men with Vision radio show, which is more in line with our vision and the direction that we're moving to. And we are making some more changes that you're going to hear about a little later on today, and a little later on as we come in. By January 1, we'll have all the changes in. We'll be able to start a new year off on the right foot. But welcome to the Men with Vision radio show for Tuesday. Wow, October the 1st, 2019.
October the 1st. It didn't feel like October today, did it?
No, and it's going to feel like July tomorrow. It's going to be hot tomorrow, but then after that, it's supposed to the temperature's supposed to go back to normal. So look, why don't we go ahead and get started with the show? Tonight's topic is who's pulling your strings?
Ooh,
I know.
Good
I know. It is a good one. Who's pulling your strings? And this is an open-ended question for men and women. That's the way we're going to go tonight. Because one of the things that, whether we own that to it or not, and I don't like the term strings, but reality is we're all listening to somebody.
That's right.
The question is who are we listening to, and what kind of impact are they having on our lives? And is it positive or is it negative?
That's correct.
And that's what we mean by who's pulling your strings. Let me start off with the younger generation, and I'm not talking about the millennials, so please don't get offended. But what I'm afraid of is with the teenagers, the youth of today, their strings are being pulled by so many different people.
That's right.
And so many different wrong influences and over their life. One of them being social media.
peer pressure.
Well, right. Social media is a great thing. is a wonderful advent, but I think it's taking control and pulling the strings in the minds of a lot of young people, because now they're on their fights are starting because of comments that are made on social media.
Yes.
People have been killed because of comments that are made on social media.
Bullying.
Kids are being, thank you, Haywood. Kids are being bullied in school because of comments that are made on social media. Social media is pulling the strings of our young people in a not positive way. And while it is doing some positive things, I'm afraid the negative is outweighing the positive right now.
And that's right. You know, young people are being influenced by Instagram,
Right.
Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
The Snapchat thing.
The Snapchat thing, whatever social media outlet. They have so much power.
Right.
Because
Exactly.
that's the word we should be using. Because there's so much power on
Right.
this generation.
Exactly.
You know, look at Facebook. Facebook is a good tool to network.
Mm-hmm.
It can expand. It expands the globe.
Exactly.
But it's also a means of tearing people down too.
That's right.
And you see so many young people right now being torn down.
Right.
We have young people killing themselves over what people said on Facebook.
That's right. That's right. That's what I mean by pulling their strings.
Yeah.
People are pulling their strings, pulling their emotions.
That's
They're
right.
tugging on their emotions and causing them to react and be in ways they would not ordinarily behave. Go ahead.
My thoughts on this: people don't know how to separate a fact from an opinion.
No, they do not.
Right.
They do not.
You know, a lot of people are getting in trouble with thinking that their opinion is actual facts.
Exactly. And then with the youth of today, and because the mind is still being formed, 13, 14, 15, and 16, 17, your mind is still being formed, your opinions are still being shaped. It's so crucial that the information they get is positive and correct, and they're having positive influence in their life, that the right people are getting inside their head.
And that's the right people. But you have so many young people nowadays. They got so much low self-esteem.
Right.
And then, like I say, you look at them and they figure like they don't have no hope.
Exactly.
They don't have no direction.
That's right.
But then somebody comes on Facebook or comes on another avenue and tells them, well, you can do this, you can do that.
Right.
You can go out here and buy you a gun, go shoot
Right.
up a whole school and stuff like that.
Exactly.
You see, social media, again, I'm not knocking social media because it's a great tool.
Right.
But it's also a way of getting people to do what you want them to do when you want them to do it.
Exactly. And it's almost like mind control.
Right.
It's almost like they've taken control of people's minds. And a lot of times, because let's move past the younger people, let's just talk about the grown people.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of grown people who are so influenced by social media that they cannot be off of social media for more than 2 or 3 minutes a day. They're on, you see them walking down the street, they're on Facebook, they're on Instagram all the time, not realizing that these influences have taken over their lives. Their strings are being pulled by people. I applaud the positive things.
Right.
I applaud the positive words that come on Facebook, the positive actions that are happening, but I'm really afraid, and especially when we look at us men and as younger men, it's really detrimental to us.
That's right.
Because the things that are being said about the male seat on social media is just horrible. We are not catching a break. And I know it sounds repetitive, but we're not catching a break. All the way from the man up in the White House who probably deserves everything that's been said about him. Okay? I'm sorry, but he probably deserves
Dumb
it.
and dumber.
Right, but at the end of the day, the reputation of men is being slattered on social media. And you would think that every man, let's not even get into the African American man.
Oh, Lord.
No.
As
it's
far as social media is concerned, the world's concerned, we just done lost our mind and don't know what we're doing.
We done lost our mind. We ain't got no idea where we're going.
Exactly.
Listen, all the baby daddies that we
Exactly.
no good and all
We no
this
good,
other
right,
stuff.
exactly.
So we don't do nothing. We don't care for our families. We don't care for the community. We don't do nothing.
Exactly.
We're just a bad seed.
Exactly. I see, this is how racism has reared its ugly head again. Because now people's strings are being pulled because now they've got somebody to join in with them.
That's right.
Because now all of a sudden you have all these groups out here and social media and other media chats, and they've got this racist content, and now they've got all these people following them. And here we are now, people's strings are being pulled. They're harsh, but people's real things are coming out.
That's right.
You know, the racist people are no longer afraid to hide it.
No, they're not.
They're bold now because social media allows them to be bold.
That's
Internet thugs, I call
Right,
them.
yeah, and I like that, Haywood, internet thugs. It allows them to be bold now. And this is what we're talking about tonight. Who is pulling your strings?
Yeah.
And is it having a positive or negative impact on your life? And here's another one. Reality television.
Oh,
Yes.
yes. Oh, yes.
There is nothing real about reality television. I don't know if you know how they call it that.
It's in production.
It's in production. I'm like, come
Nothing
on.
real about reality.
Nothing real, right? I don't know. That should not be. It's scripted. It's not real. If you think people are out, why would you follow somebody that's constantly fighting and cussing on every show?
Every show.
Why?
I just think it's a breakdown in the education process. Like I said earlier, people can't tell the difference between a fact and an opinion.
Right, and you know what? And I'm willing to give that to the youth because youth
No,
are
the
still
adults
being
too.
formed. No, that's what I'm going. I'm willing to give that to the youth, but I'm talking about the grown people, the people in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, and 50s, and some 60s who doing well should know better.
Common sense skips
Common
some
sense
generations.
skips some generations. How are you sitting up here infatuated by the Real Housewives of Atlanta? How are you sitting up here infatuated by Black Ink? How are you sitting up here infatuated by Basketball Wives? What would make you think that that is a reality? Why would you think that? But once again, their strings are being pulled and they're being influenced, and now people this is where we get what I call the ratcheting effect. Because now people are just being outright ratchet, calling people out, calling them by their names. I've never heard the B word said so much in my whole life. It's almost like a term of endearment now. Women call each other B.
People think that's a term of endearment.
It is, and it's not. It is not a term of endearment that you turn around and call your fellow sister a B. Let me call you a B. We have a real problem.
Out in the middle of the street.
Out in the middle of the street. But it's become that's how the strings are being pulled. You see, who's ever pulling your strings is influencing you.
That's right.
Whether you want to realize it or not, whoever has your attention, whoever has gotten inside your head, good, bad, or indifferent, that's who is influencing you, and that's who you are following. And this is what we're asking the question tonight. Who is pulling your strings?
That's right. Who is moving you
That's
across the street?
Yeah.
Exactly like
That's
that.
it. That's like who's moving you across the street?
Right.
You know, last week Fantasia did an interview and then she came out on social media.
Oh, yeah, and they chewed her up.
Yeah, and they chewed her out because she said women don't know how to be submissive to men.
Oh, they chewed her up. But her husband came on, and her husband did an interview, and what he said was so phenomenal. But nobody had nothing to say about what he said.
Yeah, no.
They had nothing to say about what he said.
About that.
Not
They
at all.
won't.
And I was amazed at the amount of Christian women that dogged her because she said the women should be submissive.
That's
I was amazed at how they dogged her. She only spoke the truth.
Yeah, she only spoke the
But
truth.
see, the definition of submission is where people really stop to understand what it means to be submissive. Doesn't mean control.
That's right.
When they hear submissive. But the problem is, whether we realize it or not, people's strings are being pulled and they're being submissive without even knowing it.
That's right.
You're submitting yourself to the nonsense that you're being showed every day, and you don't even realize that.
And I used to say this one thing to people. I said, if they can control your mind and your emotions and your will,
That's
they
right.
become your God.
That's
That's
right.
right.
And that's what's
That's
happening.
That's
right.
What, because now you have an idol in your life.
That's right. And that's what people have. They have idols in their lives, and they don't even realize it.
That's right.
They don't realize that these influences are doing nothing to help them, but doing everything to harm them. And because when you walk down the street and you see everybody got one of these,
Yes.
and I'm not knocking it, it is a lifesaver.
Oh, yeah.
But this thing right here is dangerous.
That's right.
Because now nobody can be too far away without their phone.
That's right. Too far away without their phone and the camera.
That's right, exactly.
That's right.
And that's another thing. Because the things that people are, why would you film somebody being bullied? Why would you film somebody being beat up and put that on social media?
That's right.
Once again, who's pulling your strings? Like, I can't believe it when I see people filming somebody getting jumped. Or a child being beat up in school. Why do you think that's okay? But once again, we've allowed the real reality to go out the window, and we fall into this false thing now.
That's right. We really fell into I don't even know how to say it anymore.
Right.
Because it's not even reality.
It's not.
Like you're in reality, but it's really not reality.
It's not.
Because
Exactly.
if you can take time out and film somebody jumping into a train, you could have spent that same time grabbing somebody and pulling them to save them.
That's right.
I think that today's society brainwash us not to value life.
That's it.
Yeah.
And
I think it really numbs us.
Yeah,
It does.
it
Because
numbs
once
us.
you saw
Yeah.
so much death,
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying, you become accustomed to it.
Right.
Yeah, you've been
Exactly.
seeing so much violence inside your neighborhoods. It's like you're numb to the fact that somebody needs some help.
That's it.
But that's probably a true statement, but it's a very sad statement.
Yes,
Right.
it is.
That we've got to that point now where these things are so normal, we're so numb behind it now,
Yeah,
so
we know.
we're just not impacted. I don't never want to be so numb that I'm not impacted by the fact that people are being killed every day.
That's right.
You know, every day somebody's being shot or killed, that you cannot get numb to that.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I think the younger generation of youth are so numb to it right now because that's all they know. Their friends are dying, so to them dying is just like it's no longer a fear anymore. They're like, well, I gotta go.
Well, they think that's normal.
Exactly.
And you know, part of that is probably the older people's fault too.
Almost definitely.
Because you know, while we're supposed to be teaching that this is not normal.
Right.
It's not
Exactly.
normal you walking up to somebody and blow somebody's head off.
That's right.
That's not normal.
It's not.
You know, and I think this generation really has to, you know, they have to take a step back a little bit. And the rural generation, that the leaders, the older people, the mature people need to step up and say, this is not what it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
Life is supposed to be valued.
Exactly.
You're not supposed to walk down the street and rob somebody and then kill them. That's, I remember they used to rob people, they used to kill them.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
That's
They
right.
robbed you, they did right.
That's right, they ain't
Right,
kill you.
exactly.
They said, just give me what you got.
Right, exactly.
No, but now you give me what they got.
And they're going to shoot you
And
anyway.
they're
They're
gonna
gonna
shoot you
shoot you
anyway.
anyway.
Exactly right. So you know you're darned if you do, and you're
Don't
darned if you don't.
That's why people and that's why people be fighting.
Exactly.
Cause they figure this way you're gonna kill me anyway.
Right, exactly. So I might as well fight and see if I have a chance.
Right.
But I tell you who else was pulling our strings, and we don't really even realize it, the laws that have been created.
Woo, man.
Yes.
Oh my God, don't even
The
go there.
laws that have been created are now pulling our strings because now, for example, you can no longer really discipline your child.
Oh yeah.
You can go to jail for disciplining your child. Where were y'all at when I was a child?
Oh,
Okay,
Lord,
where were
oh,
y'all
yeah.
then? Okay, because Thelma Waters, and according to today's society, was a child abuser.
That's right.
Okay,
Listen, she be going to jail.
that's right. She'd have been in jail because she would get you with anything she could get her hands on. You know, the woman I called my grandmother would get you with anything you could get your hands on. The idea now that you parents cannot discipline their children, and I read this study the other day. This is how our strings are being pulled, because the study finally comes out and says that according to recent research, spanking your children is very detrimental.
Yes.
Very detrimental. Research has proven time and time again, not only finally have facts, that spanking your children is detrimental and it damages them in the long
Can I
run.
ask this question? Where they get their facts from?
I want to know.
I want to know too.
I wanna know.
Where they get this, the facts from? We used to have to go out and pick our own switch.
Right. I tell you one thing, they didn't ask any black parents.
Hey, that's a
I'm gonna tell you
lie.
that. Because I know a lot of people followed up on that on social media. A lot of people said, "Oh, I just whipped mine just today." But I'm gonna tell you, and we're not talking child abuse here, so
No,
please.
We talking about, you know, part of loving your child.
That's right.
Is disciplining your child.
That's right.
Because that's part of teaching them how to be a good citizen,
That's right, exactly.
how to be a good person.
That's right.
See, we got so many. We got all these doctors, all these so-called educators and philosophers telling us we shouldn't do this and we shouldn't do that.
Right, exactly.
Well, tell me why there's so many people incarcerated in America.
Right, exactly.
Or on prescription pills
For
for
prescription
behavior.
drugs.
That's right.
That's right. Tell me why. And let me tell you something. 9 times out of 10, if you go back and look at their childhood, they'll be like, "Oh, Johnny, stop that. Johnny, please stop that. Please
Right.
stop that." Because you know why? Because they don't know nothing about authority.
That's right. And that is what it comes down to. But they have taken that away from us. They've taken away from parents to now, once again, that's how our strings are being pulled, because the government has gotten into our personal homes now.
Yeah.
I get it. You do need to have laws against children being abused. We're not knocking that. I'm not for no child being abused. But at the end of the day, if I can't discipline my child, but if he goes out in the street and do something, you go upside his head, what's the difference?
That's right.
Yeah.
Where's the difference? Because once you get him in the prison system, trust me, if he don't do what you tell him, you're going to go upside his head.
Yeah, but just think about what you just said. You can't discipline your child, but a cop can shoot and kill your child.
That's right, exactly.
Think about it.
That's right.
That's like crazy. We don't look at it that way.
Right. And discipline typically says, when I got a whooping, generally because my mother, grandmother had told me 1 or 2 times that I was still doing it.
Yeah.
But now they can shoot you without any warning.
Any just warning.
Any warning whatsoever. Shoot you and kill you.
But it's a norm.
But it's normal. But that's how our strings are being pulled, and people are listening to that.
Yes.
People are like, oh, they're so right. We got to find other means. Give Johnny a timeout. My mother wouldn't mean the word timeout. Okay, I would take time out to whip you behind. That's what I would do.
I wish I had some
time out. Hey, look here. My mom used to say, go upstairs in the room, and she'll wait a couple of hours until she came down there and laid down the law.
Right, exactly.
So I definitely know about the butt whippings because I got a lot of.
Oh yeah.
I'm with brother. I know.
Oh, you that child. Okay. Got you. So go ahead, Mike.
See, but another thing is pulling our strings. The news.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
News media is on 24/7. It's global now.
That's right.
Like one news story it stays in a cycle for maybe 2 or 3 weeks now.
Yeah.
Where back in the day when you just had Channel 6, you know what I'm saying? And that's all you looked at.
Right.
But now you got like so many news channels.
And social media is the new news too.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
Because soon as something happened, them phones come out and
That's
it's in
right.
real
That's
time.
right. That's right. Exactly.
But see, that's the thing with this is the thing with the world we're in nowadays. We're so manipulated by what we hear and what we see that we don't see the realness or the reality in it.
We don't.
Yeah.
We don't realize that we have become the puppets, and everybody else has become the puppet master.
That's right.
And it's exactly, when I posted that image today, that's exactly, I'm afraid, what we've come to.
Yes.
We've become the puppets, and the government and social media and all these other things have become the puppet masters.
Yes.
Unless you have the knowledge and this is where I'm going to shift this a little bit, because I know this is where people don't understand it. This is why if you don't have a relationship with God, you'll fall for anything.
That's right.
They don't realize that these things, first of all, are demonic in nature, are designed to really destroy us. Because once you can't tell the difference between right and wrong, you've already lost.
That's right.
You're already out there.
Lost.
And because we have gotten away from all the spiritual things, they took that, you can't pray in schools no more. You can't do this, you can't do that. All those things that we were brought up believing and doing, you can't even say God in some places. You can't say Christ in some places.
Oh, yeah.
Because we've gotten to the society, and I said this recently, everything is everything.
Everything is everything.
Like I said Wednesday night, you do you, live your life, and that's how we're going to do it. That is not the people's strings are being pulled to believe that however you want to live your life is fine because God loves you.
That's right. And speak your truth.
Speak your truth.
That's it. Speak your truth.
Exactly.
What truth you speaking?
Exactly.
Because you're living a lie.
Right, exactly.
That's basically what you're doing. You're living a lie.
Right, exactly.
Because like I said, a lot of these people, and give it to some of the young people. Because some of the young people got more sense than some of the old
Yes,
people.
they do. Yes, they do.
Let's get that right.
That's right.
Let's say that first.
Right.
Because some of these old people ain't got no sense.
No sense.
And they're trying to live a truth that they know is a lie.
That's right, exactly.
And and they get on, and they come on TV, or they walk down the street, and they talk to these young people, these young men. Oh, you can do this, man. You go out there, and you make that money.
That's
you make
right.
that money how you want to make that money. Go out there and buy that car. Go out there and get that girl pregnant, get her knocked up, don't take care of the kids and stuff like that, don't take care of the kids. But see, that's the problem.
Right.
See, they speaking their truth, but it's a lie.
Exactly. It's like that's your truth.
That's your truth.
But it's a false truth and then you're putting it into other people. Because once again, teenagers are impressionable.
That's right.
Because once the parent no longer has that big impact, Because at the age of 13 and 14, your parents don't really have that big impact on the children anymore. They're not humming on the every word. They're not holding on to the every word. So now you've got these outside influences, but once again, it does go back into the home, where you've got to have conversations with your children and find out what's going on with them, find out what they're hearing, and correct some of that nonsense. You know, this is why there's so much you need to have control over your young child's social media and find out what they're watching, because not that you don't trust your child, you don't trust the people that your children are listening to. There's a big difference. You listen to stuff, but I want to know what you're listening to.
Or simply just sit down and watch the shows that they're watching, and then have a dialogue with them after the show go off. Do you really understand all the stuff that this show is trying to give you that impression that it's no consequences in life for this, it's no consequences in life for that?
Yeah. Go ahead.
And that's the sad thing. That we don't have those kind of conversations with our kids anymore. It's the ones that are having the conversations with the kids that kids are saying, hey, maybe this show is not for me.
Exactly.
But a lot of parents are not
having that conversation. Yeah. And you know how we're being influenced? That's how the world's influenced us now. Because now the thing is, you have to grind 24/7, 365 days a year.
That's right.
You know, you have to grind.
When the Bible says you're supposed to rest.
Right, exactly. There's no rest in there now. The theory is now, the misinformation is that you cannot be a success if you're not grinding 24 hours a day.
That's right.
365 days a year. You're taking no rest whatsoever. You're not grinding, because you know what you're doing, especially if you got a family. You're not paying attention to what's going on in your house.
Yes.
So your children are raising themselves, and somebody else is pulling their strings and talking to them. And because you make all that money, but what is all the money worth if your family is gone on the wayside? Seriously. Or you die because you keep working like that. I tell you, you're going to pass out.
Because you're going to be stressed and stretched out.
Exactly. That's right.
Yes,
That's
know.
Right. Exactly.
Out.
But that's how our strings are being pulled, because now the whole thing is success. Get all the money that you can get. Yeah. And I don't knock people making money. God knows I'm trying to make mine.
That's right.
But at the end of the day, the reality of that is that money is not going to buy you happiness.
That's
and
right.
that money should not be more important than spending time with your wife, your husband, and your children. Yeah. And our husband. Families need to be together.
That's right.
You cannot work so much. At some point, the children just realize, well, they can't get the latest Jordans. I'd rather be home with my kids than working to buy them the new cell phone or buy them the new Jordans. You got shoes on your feet, you got a phone, be happy with that.
Listen, you got a roof over your head.
That's right, exactly.
But kids don't understand that.
Well, because parents are not teaching that anymore. And because, but it goes back to my point, because now everybody's trying to keep up with everybody. Well, my neighbors got it. My neighbor's kids got it. I don't want my child to feel out of neglect.
But the crazy thing about it is, I see grown people, the new iPhone 10 coming out.
Yeah.
Like, are you for real?
It's
11. Well,
right.
I had my phone until this phone die on me.
Right.
Once I get total life out of it,
exactly.
That's when I go and get a phone.
This is a 7, okay, and it's still working, okay.
Look, I don't need an iPhone 11.
Roll off the track.
Look, it got to fall apart basically before me to go and make an investment.
Our priorities are wrong, and I'm not knocking. If you can afford to do that, then God bless you. And you want to do that, I'm not knocking that. But I'm telling you, if you got a family, 2 kids, 3 kids, husband and wife, that shouldn't be your priority. The priorities is they have a roof over their head, clothes on their back, you're saving money for them to go to school. Yeah. That should be the thing. But if you're constantly working, the both of you working all the time, and you're making up for it by buying them these things.
Yeah, because you feel guilty because you can't spend the time.
Exactly.
That's right.
That's not.
Because sometimes you can't afford that big new car.
That's right.
Sometimes you got to drive that old until it roll off the wheels roll off.
That's right.
Because if you don't teach your kids, the streets will.
That's right.
If you're not influenced, if you're not pulling your children's strings, because at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, as parents, you do the best that you can do.
Yes.
And you can do everything right, and that child can still go left.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, you have to find some solace in the fact that you did the best that you could do. And if they decide to go in the other direction, understand something that value at some point will kick back.
That's
Because
it.
as we get older, we all got to find our own way. We
All-
all go on our own path.
All right, y'all listening to the new branded Men with Vision show. Please check us out every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. We can try to bring y'all the best new topics that affect everyday people in everyday life. So
Well said. Okay. That's what a good engineer do for you. I'm telling you. That's what a good engineer would do. That was a good commercial.
Sometimes you got to tag your brand in there because
That's
that's what it's about. Because we trying to impact people's lives, whether it's male, it's female. We trying to we trying to solve issues here,
Exactly.
or give y'all a heads up on what's going on inside this world.
Exactly. And this is what's going on tonight. So in case you just joined us, our topic tonight is who's pulling your strings,
Yes.
or who's influencing you.
Mm-hmm.
And is it a good influence, or is it a negative influence? And is the negative influence overriding the good influence? Because here's the reality. If we're going to be really honest, we all have negative influences in our life.
Yes.
All
No
the
doubt.
time.
No doubt.
We got some people in our lives that are two sides of crazy. Let's just be honest.
Two sides of crazy.
But at the end of the day, just because they're two sides of crazy does not mean they cannot be a friend of yours.
Yes.
If you know their craziness.
When you know how to separate.
When you know how
the
to
craziness.
separate the craziness.
Because
You
you
know?
know if they got mental
Right,
issues.
if they got mental issues.
Yes,
But I'm
sir.
talking about your friend who might just be maybe not the most honest person in the world, not paying their taxes, ducking here and ducking there. That's on them.
Man,
It's
put
not-
your money in your pocket. Let's go in there and steal it.
Right, exactly. But at the end of the day, who is influencing you? Who are you allowing to have the greatest amount of influence in your life? Because I was just young people, who are you following?
Yes, sir. Who
You
you
know? Who
following?
are you following?
Because listen, because there's a whole lot of people following the wrong people.
That's right.
You look. We got a White House full of followers.
That's right. Exactly.
We got not one leader in there. We got a bunch of followers.
Look
Exactly.
here, man. This is the most terrible time probably in the history of America, because the example that people supposed to be looking at inside Washington
Right.
is something that we talking about today.
Exactly.
Following the wrong
Following
example.
the wrong example. And the problem is that example is trickling down.
That's
Yes,
it.
yes.
His negative example has had such a negative
Oh, yes.
impact in this world right now. Because like we talked earlier now, racism is at a high, all-time high right
Shooting's
now.
up.
Shooting is up right now. People are in despair right now. People have no hope.
Yes.
All these things are all trickled down as a result of his bad behavior.
Yes.
Because you got the people who are being influenced by him who thinks he's right or they're carrying on. At least they think it's his values.
Yes.
Because a lot of people have pegged him as a racist. I don't know if he is or not. I can't make that statement. But a lot of people, because of things that he said, and they think he's okay with it, now they're doing these negative things. He is pulling their strings and they don't even know it.
But he's another person that fits that profile.
He is.
Whether he can separate facts from opinions.
He cannot, but he's leading the United States of America.
I've never seen somebody.
He's leading.
Yeah.
He ain't leading nothing. That's
It's
what I'm
crazy.
saying. He
And
is
we
the
looking like the
leader.
laughing stock
We
around the
are.
world.
We are the leader of the free world.
See, let me break the truth down to you. America was supposed to be the shining house on the hill.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what we are now. Look like the lights done went out.
That's
and
right.
People done closed the doors and done left for 4 years now.
That's right. We've had some presidents in there that I have not agreed with.
Yeah.
We've had some people that I've been like, I don't really like you. But we've not had nobody since I've been alive that I can remember that I'm just like, who are you?
Yeah, who are you?
Who are you? And what do you really stand for?
What are
doing?
you?
What are you?
The businessman,
Exactly.
the bankruptcy guy,
Right.
or the TV personality?
Exactly. And see, this is why we're sending a message, because now people know that he's not right. But we've let this go on for so long, so now other people think, well, I can get away with it.
That's
He's
right.
getting away with it.
Yeah.
Nobody's addressing him, so nobody's going to address me. Influence.
That's
Influence. And now this whole thing of, and I know I want to get into the whole political thing, impeachment or non-impeachment, That whole thing right there is going to set this country in one battle against each other.
Yeah, I mean,
It is.
actually, it's starting to look like that. That's what they want it to be, a
Exactly.
divide,
Right.
a fight between the people, and we can't fall for the
We
for the
cannot
trap.
fall- that's right.
Y'all have to sit here and realize that we put these people in office, and we should be able to get
Kick
these
them
people
out.
out if
Exactly.
they're not doing the right things for American
Exactly.
people.
What can I give y'all the hard truth?
Go ahead,
I'm
give
gonna
it.
give y'all the hard truth. Because I think America needs to hear the hard truth. Now, you done elected this man. He's going to serve 4 years.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. It was a skit on Saturday Night Live. I want y'all to go back. If y'all, I'm giving Saturday Night Live a play.
Okay.
And Keenan was on there with, and he was on a panel with all these news people that come on every Sunday morning, every day, and he said some of the greatest things I ever heard. This is what he said: "Ain't nothing gonna happen."
I'm with you.
Listen, he kept saying it. He said it 3 times. Ain't nothing gonna happen.
That's not.
He said, and then he said it after he said it the 3rd time. He said, "You know what? He gonna get reelected."
Yes, he is.
Because I'm gonna tell you why he gonna get reelected. Because you know why? It's not a real leader who stepped up yet that can remove him.
That's right.
Yeah, you're right.
That's
See,
right.
because we're living in a world where everybody wants to be a follower and nobody wants to be a leader.
Oh yeah.
If you listen to every debate that the Democrats got, all of them are following. Nobody's leading.
Leading.
Everybody's saying the
Nobody's
same
standing
That's
out.
right.
Everybody's saying the same thing. Ain't nobody ain't thinking nothing new.
Nothing new.
Listen, but they always mention one leader. Who they mention all the time. Every debate you don't heard a Democratic debate. President Barack Obama.
That's right.
Because you know why? Because he was a leader.
That's right.
And see, this is what we need right now. You know, people talk about leaders don't influence things.
Yes, they
leaders
do.
influence things.
They set the
Good
tone.
or bad.
That's right.
Good or bad.
That's right.
Leaders influence.
That's right.
And right now, there's no influences. Because everybody wants to do what they want to do.
Exactly.
This we done got to the point in this country, in this world, where everybody wants to do them.
That's right.
It doesn't matter. They don't have a religion. Because they don't listen. Let me tell you something. When the last time you heard a terrorist organization did anything?
That's right.
Because you know why? Because religion is out the door now. Because now I'm the self-God.
That's right.
I'm self-God.
That's right.
See, because people believe in themselves.
That's right.
It's a sad thing, but that's the way the world is today. But because you know why? Because it's void of people in leadership.
That's right.
And when you don't have a leader, or when you don't have leadership, you have a bunch of people running around with no vision
That's right.
and no ideal and no hope.
That's right. That's very well said.
And you want to know the crazy thing? I was listening to Rudy Giuliani the other
Oh my
day.
God!
Oh, please.
No. I have to say this.
Please.
I have to say this
Please don't
because this is the most profound statement that I ever heard in my life.
Oh God!
The President of the United States of America looks up to Rudy Giuliani. Look here. I was so amazed by those profound words out of that great man's mouth.
You said what?
That great man's mouth.
Great man.
The President of the United States looks up to me.
Looks up to him.
And he's supposed to be what? The leader
Leader
of the free world.
This is what we're talking about. Don't make me want to get this done, okay? This is what we're talking about when we're asking the question, who's pulling your strings? Because that is a puppet master right there. A puppet master move.
Man.
Clearly showing that he don't have a clue.
Yes.
He don't have a clue, and he's just being dangled, just like a puppet would. You know, but Mike, back to your point, you make a very strong point.
Yeah.
We don't have a leader.
We don't have a leader.
You know, the idea of who we're going to vote for, and the reality is that if people don't get it together real soon, he will be back in office. I don't expect anything from this impeachment. I do not.
Probably not.
I don't expect him to be impeached. I expect it to be a lot of chatter, a lot of uproar, but at the end of the day, they're not going to impeach him. And when that happens, he's going to stand his ground now for sure. And all those people who follow him are going to say, see, we told y'all he wasn't doing anything.
Because let me tell you something. If you don't move him,
That's right.
if you don't move him out of place, he gains power.
That's right.
Because now I'm Teflon.
That's
Yeah.
right.
You can't penetrate me. And that's the thing. That's how. Let me tell you something. That's what the Democrats are setting us up for.
Yes.
They're setting us up for that. This is what the people are laughing at us. They are laughing at us because we're a joke. We are. It's sad to say we talk every time they come on TV and they talk about this, they talking about that. That man being on more is people are dying in the middle of streets.
That's right.
All over this country. People are being lynched in backwoods.
And the focal points in the White House.
Listen, and little girls are being taken from playgrounds.
That's right.
Yeah. And he get more press than those people who are helpless.
Exactly.
Right.
So let me tell you something. If they don't do something, let me tell you something. I don't trust the voting system. I'm a vote.
Me either.
I'm a vote, but
Me
I don't
either.
trust it.
Me either.
Because you know why? Because I just truly believe that we no longer control our votes.
Yeah.
To me personally, I think corporations control
Yes,
who get inside the White House.
Oh yeah, but you know we're gonna do our political because we could be in here.
Yeah, we're gonna talk. But back to what I'm saying. But
it's relative, though.
But it is with puppet strings.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Our whole country is being pulled by strings. People are changing their minds. People who had good sense.
Yes.
Good sense.
Had good sense.
No.
That's right.
No, you can't say that they had good sense.
No, they had good sense
Yeah.
before. No, let me tell you, I give people credit. They had good sense before. But when you only see despair and you don't see no hope, you start to lose sense of who you are.
Because you're looking for something.
Yeah.
And if you can't find what you're looking for, you become vulnerable.
That's right.
And when that vulnerability sets in, so now the first thing that sounds good to me, the first thing that sounds like it's going to help me,
That's right.
I'm going to jump on that wagon.
That's right.
This is why we have the young people who are in gangs. Because they're looking for something.
Yeah.
They had no familiar love, no father, no mother. So the first person that comes along and shows them some love, this is how women, young girls, get into abusive relationships.
That's
Yeah,
right.
you're right.
It is manipulation at its best. You know, it's skill. See, in order to be a puppet master, you have to have a certain level of skill in order to manipulate those puppets one by one. And what the government has become and other people is extremely skilled at puppet mastering.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
They really have. And now we are the people because we are subject and we only know what they tell us.
That's
And
it.
we act based upon the information that we hear. And that's how our strings are being pulled because the average person, not a knock, is so busy trying to pay their bills.
That's it.
Especially when you talk about minority people, black people, Mexicans and all this. We're so busy trying to pay our bills,
Yeah.
we don't have, a lot of times people don't have time to focus on the issues.
Yeah.
And then trying to decipher what's, and that's not all of us, so please don't, if you say black people not intelligent, I'm not saying that at all. But we got to encompass the whole thing here when we talk about voting for the president.
Yeah.
And if only a portion of us is educated enough to make that decision, the other portion is open and vulnerable to hear what sounds good that's going to give them a glimmer of hope.
Especially, you know, they get on that. You know, I talk to a lot of people, and you know, I tell them, yeah, you're going. I ask the question, you going to get out and vote today? Oh, my vote don't count, or man, that's just a game that they playing with us and this and that. How do you think you're going to have a say if you don't go to the?
That's right.
And vote.
That's why I tell people not to cut you off. But the thing is this though, if we don't do something to secure our vote,
Yes.
and see that's the thing. That's what I'm concerned about.
Right.
Everybody, everybody can go out and vote all they want to.
Yeah.
But if there's no security in the voting system,
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
you're right.
so we're going to the polls and we're just pulling a lever.
Yeah.
That's right.
And we don't know who we pulling a lever for.
Yeah, we
That's
hitting
right.
this candidate, and
That's
it might
right.
be voting for Donald Trump.
Right. Exactly.
See, that's the thing. Or we might not be voting at all.
Oh,
See, that's the thing. But see, going back with what our topic is, that's the way people are pulling our string. They're
It's a
finding
yo-yo.
ways
Yeah.
to turn what we think is good
Right.
into bad.
right. Well, what is really bad,
It's
they're
a
making
good.
it look like it's good.
That's right.
Fool's
And it's
gold.
not.
That's
Right,
what they
exactly.
call it.
Exactly.
That's right. Listen.
Yeah, exactly. And this is why it is so important that number one, that we have to pay attention to what we're hearing.
That's
Yeah.
right.
You know, we really got to make sure that what we're hearing, if we don't understand, we need to ask somebody. But this is why, as a community, and I must say this, as black community, white community, Asian community, Mexican community, whoever, we all need to come together in our communities and get a consensus here.
Right.
Because the power is there.
Yes.
Right.
We just have to take it.
Yes.
But we're not going to take it if we don't start educating ourselves. But see, the problem is when we need leaders in our areas, But once again, the scary thing is that when people get into leadership, some of them start tripping.
Yeah, corrupt.
You know,
Yeah.
and now people get corrupt or start. Some people are so easily influenced because you promised me you're going to do X, Y, and Z for my community if they vote for me, and then when they get in office, they forget all about you. It's happened time and time again.
Back to again.
Nobody is willing to stand their ground.
Yeah, nobody is willing to actually step up and do what they promise on a campaign trail.
And make them accountable for that. You know, because I get tired of hearing right now, the past year or so, all these people coming out of the woodworks. You know, and you'll see them more and more now, all these state representatives and all these. Where you been for the past 4 years?
Yeah.
Where have you been?
We've been there for the last 2 years.
Exactly. But now you want to come on because now you want to pull my string.
Yes.
You want to pull my string now. You want me to vote for you. So you're going to pull my string and you're going to tug at the things that are important to me.
See, but people don't understand the power of the internet.
Right.
See, these people that you voting for, you can actually go Google these people, put their names in there.
That's right.
And if they in Congress, if they in the Senate, or if they on a city council or something, you can see their voting record right online.
Exactly. That's
And
right.
if it don't line up to what your values are or what your needs are, you shouldn't vote for
Exactly. And you make a good point, Hayward, and this is where I was going to go to. Question is going to ask us, how do we make sure that our strings are, if they're being pulled the right way? Here's number one we have to. First of all, we got to realize, what do we stand for?
Yes.
And what are we looking for? What is our value
What is
system?
our values?
Yes.
What are our values? Because once I know what my values are and my families are, and if I'm the head of my family's values should be the same as mine.
That's right.
We don't have to agree on the same candidate, but what we stand for as people and as a family should line up. That's number one. If we're going to take control over this people pulling our strings. Number two, then we got to decide, what do we want? See, because a lot of times I don't really think we really know what we want. What's the most important thing in our community, in our neighborhood that we need?
Education.
Education. Thank
Health.
you. Health.
And better pay.
Better pay. And those should be the three things that everybody has in common. Black, white, Mexican, Puerto Rican, whoever you are. Education should be at the top of the list to make sure that every child, everybody can get a decent education. Number two, affordable health care.
That's right.
Affordable health care, affordable prescription drug coverage. That's number two. And number three, what was the third one? Financial
better pay.
Better pay, right. Financial stability.
That's it.
Those are the three core things that we need to be concerned about. I don't care who you are. And if we're not concerned about those and addressing those things with the people who are in office, then shame on us.
Yes.
Because we all share those in common. Unless you're making tons and millions of dollars, then this has no impact on you. But the majority of the population is not making millions of dollars. Why should my child not be able to go to a good school and then go to a college and not come out in debt? Why?
Yes.
Why?
Because we don't hold our politicians accountable.
Exactly. Why do I have to go into the hospital and live through my operation and then die trying to pay for it?
Yeah.
Why?
You're
Why?
right about that.
When you get the bill.
When you get the bill, exactly.
What's happened to him?
But-
Exactly.
He died because he see the hospital bill.
But we got career politicians
That's
that
right.
don't pay for
They
health
don't
insurance,
pay for health insurance.
but dictate to us
Exactly.
about health insurance.
Exactly.
And that's not right.
About health insurance.
About our health
insurance. You don't pay for it, but yet you're going to tell us how we should have to pay
You
for
get
ours.
free medical, you
Right,
get
exactly.
free dental.
Right.
That's not right.
Prescription drugs. I have a medication that I take. And the farmer, because I changed insurance, and the lady called me and she said, Mr. Waters, we ran your new insurance. Your prescription is going to cost $1,000. And I just started laughing, and she laughed too. She said, so I know we're not doing that. I'm like, no, we're not. But thank God, I made a phone. God is always so good.
Yes, he is.
I made a phone call to the manufacturer of the drug,
Yes.
and I got the medication for nothing.
Yes.
But the reality is, why are pharmaceutical companies still allowed to charge all this money, make all this profit? What would make you think that anybody could afford $1,000 copay for a prescription? And mind you, I had insurance. So what if I didn't have the insurance?
Yes.
These are the things that we need to be concerned about. These are the things that these are the real issues. There's 3. If you tackle these 3 issues, I firmly believe that everything else will fall into place. Because we're all concerned about education, we're all concerned about health care, and we're all concerned about financial stability.
Yes.
We're not requesting to be rich. That's never the issue. But can I pay my bills? Can I take care of my family? Can I afford to have children?
That's it.
You know, because it's a question now. Can I afford to have children and give them a decent life? And that decent life means, can I pay for their health care, their clothes, their food, take them on vacation? Can I afford to do that? If we are not concerned about those 3 things for the next year and a half, then we're fighting a losing battle. And if we're not going to make the people who are looking to vote, for us to vote for them, answer those questions and provide real solutions, it's a waste of time.
Yeah, you're right.
And we're not going to get there in 2020. I'm sorry to say.
When are we going to get a piece of the American pie?
When are we going to get it? I'm not.
That power was burned a long time ago.
Exactly. Overcooked.
We've been talking about that pie for a long time.
Exactly.
Let me tell you something. It ain't about the pie no more.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
you're
not.
right.
It's not about.
It's about the brainwash.
Because you know why? Because the power was never equally divided.
Yes,
That's right.
You're right.
That's
You're
right.
You're
So
right.
when they talk about the American pie, I always look at this. How much of the pie that you really going to get?
That's right. Exactly.
Yes.
You know.
And see, that's what minorities should think about. How much of the pie you was all really going to get?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because
You're
not going to you're not going to get half of it.
No.
Yeah.
You probably don't even get a quarter of it.
Exactly. Right.
But you might get that little sliver. You know how they do at the birthday party when they got all the kids,
Exactly.
and they got and you know that cake's so small.
That's
right.
They're gonna give you that little piece in the corner right there.
Exactly.
And then you know what? It's gonna have. And then you know what? That's not just you eating off that little.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
You're right. It's not. It's not.
I just told a person, because we was having a conversation, and I was like, and he coined, he used the great term that our 45th president used, "Make America Great Again." I said, you want to know how we're gonna make America great again?
I like the way you put these great people.
Great people. Yeah, because they make great statements. But I said to them, the only way that we can make American great again is when the people get empowered.
That's it.
Right. Well.
And when the people get empowered, and when the people decide, look, we're not going to take this no more.
Exactly.
This is how we want you to run this country. And if you can't do this for us,
Right.
you can't be our leader.
Okay. But see, but it comes back to, unfortunately, that people are struggling every day.
Yeah.
And the focus is so caught up on, I gotta make it.
That's
I gotta make it. And while everybody knows, and I really believe that the average American knows what the really big issues are, because these 3 things impact us all. But at the end of the day, when I'm trying to pay my bills, I'm being manipulated, and my strings are being pulled by the person who says they can possibly do something to help me. So if you're saying that you're going to give me, people think when they give you every 10 years, they give you this tax thing when you get a check, that's a big deal. But the Donald Trump tax cut was the biggest ripoff he ever, one of the biggest ripoffs he came off with. Nobody benefited from that. When I got my income tax last year, I ended up going to government for the first time ever. Yeah. But see, we think because our strings have been, because they tugged right at our heartstrings. And I'm going to give you this little, you're going to see an extra $20 in your paycheck. What the heck is an extra $20 going to do for me?
What is it? The extra $20 going to do to a person that's making under $50,000?
Exactly. Even a person that's making $50,000, what's $20 going to do for you?
But to a person, because T.I., I was watching the forum debate last week they had, and he was saying that he said, look, I have no problem with some of the stuff that President Trump did because I got money. Right. But I feel sorry for the people who make under $50,000, or the person that's making $100,000 a year and don't have a family. That's because it hits their pockets the hardest.
It hits the hardest, exactly.
And people don't understand that.
Exactly. So here's, ladies and gentlemen, because we're talking to the masses tonight, in order for us, people to stop pulling our strings, we got to pay attention.
Yes.
You know, we got to wake up and we got to pay attention to what's really happening here and what's really being said here. Because if not, people fail to realize you're 20 now, you're going to be 30, 40, 50. And while there's issues in a blink of an eye, and while healthcare might not be an issue for you now, and while prescription drugs might be an issue for you now, it's going to be if they don't fix it. Or you have parents that are on Medicare right now and Social Security and they can't make it. These issues impact everybody. I don't care, like we said, unless you're sitting there in the White House or you got millions of dollars. And then let's talk about the ones they give the tax breaks to. Amazon, the biggest corporation out there, paying no taxes or little taxes.
No taxes.
Yeah.
How do you, but they would throw the three of us in jail.
That's it.
Take everything that we have.
Strip you down.
Strip us down.
It's funny how today's life fits Hollywood. You ever watch that movie Time with Justin Bieber? When they was tapping their arms because they had to load they.
Oh, you talking about not Justin Bieber?
Not Justin Bieber, but I know you're talking about.
I mean, not just Justice Timberlake. Yeah, but think about that. How that's mimicking real life because while people in Washington sitting up there playing about how they gonna load their pockets and get richer, it's people actually out here really dying. It's people. That got to go steal medicine inside the store. I catch old people every day.
That's right.
I can't afford the fiber. I can't afford.
Right, exactly.
But it's crazy. They done work all their life, and at the end, you think that you're going to get some rest,
and you're not.
And you're not.
You're not exactly.
It's crazy.
It's just like you discarded. We are, but this is where we go back and where we talk about the spiritual aspect of it.
Yes.
Because we've gotten so far away from God, and now the reach says every man for himself. People fail to realize that when God blesses you with the skill, the skill, because some people have been blessed with the skill to make millions of dollars, but it wasn't for them. But they've taken that money and they're not doing anything to help anybody else.
Yes.
And that's just where we come to now. It's just a selfish world that we live in. At the end of the day, and the people who are being impacted the most are right here in this room. People in our neighborhoods. I don't care if you're making $100,000 a year. You got a family of 4. That's not no money.
Nothing.
That's nothing.
Yeah, that's nothing.
You got a family of 4 and one going to college. You know.
Right, exactly. And then you put kids through college, and now you got the average college graduate coming out of school $50,000 or $60,000 in debt, or more than that, and they can't move out of their house because they can't afford an apartment.
No, not only can't afford an apartment, they don't have the buying power to go get a mortgage because that's a negative.
That's a negative because now if they can't pay that loan, they've tagged you.
Yes.
You cannot get a loan because you can't pay your bills. So we're darned if we do, and we're darned if we don't. We gotta stop letting our strings being pulled. We gotta start paying attention to what is really happening here. Because this impacts all of us. Once again, the 3 things that we need to be concerned about is education, healthcare, and financial stability.
That's right.
At the end of the day, that is the crust of what we live by right now.
Right.
That is the crust. I'm not talking millionaire status. That's not what I'm saying. But if I can't buy a house for my family, if I can't pay for my medications and put food on the table, and I can't get my child into a good school and pay for it, then the reality is we're in trouble.
Yes, we are.
Because, and this is why so many young people, especially young men, are out in the corner hustling.
Yes.
I'm not knocking, I'm not condoning their hustling, but I can honestly say I can understand it. Because at the end of the day, you've taken away their hope. Because they watch their parents struggle. Their parents can't get above water. They have nothing to offer them. And you can tell me till I'm blue in the face, but if the parents are not so busy trying to make it, they're not instilling that thing in the child that you can make it, and the strings are being pulled by outside influences, they're out on the street hustling.
That's right.
Well, see, it goes back to what the Bible says. People without a vision will perish.
That's right.
And back to what I said earlier. When you're void of leadership.
We are.
When you are void of leadership, not just in this country, but all over the world, seems like you get a running down effect of stuff.
That's right.
It's just like an avalanche.
That's right.
You see it coming, but you can't get away from it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this is what this world is turning into. It's turning into a big avalanche.
Right.
Because there's nobody to direct anybody away from the avalanche.
It's not. It's
Right
not.
now we're sitting maybe in the worst times of our life.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to get worse. Though.
Oh, yeah, it is.
It really is going to
It
get
is.
worse.
The Bible said it.
It's going to get worse. But I'm going to tell you this. Today, if all the people that listen to us today, educate yourself for whoever you vote for.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Educate yourself on the tax system.
That's right.
Educate yourself on the voting laws in your state.
Mm-hmm.
And most of all, educate yourself on the people that are on that ballot.
That's right. Exactly.
Because they are the ones you're going to send to Washington, send to your state house, send to be governor, and all the rest of these important places where they have influence and where they can move your situation across the street.
That's right.
Because
Exactly.
let me tell you something. Because if you still sitting in the dump,
Mm-hmm.
you ain't worrying about nothing.
That's right.
Only thing you see is the dump.
That's right.
But a leader will move you from looking at that dump and make you see what's on the other side.
That's right. Exactly.
And right now, we don't have no other side.
We don't.
And it's sad.
And also too, when these politicians come in to talk to you, right? The first question you should ask them: how many times a year I'm going to see you? Because
Right.
I just don't want to see you this one time.
That's right. Exactly.
For my vote. I want to see some positive change inside my neighborhood.
That's right.
I
Exactly.
want to see you impacting my situation. So please come inside my neighborhood more, because we got some honest things that we need to discuss, and maybe you can push our agenda on trying to make our neighborhoods empowerment zones like they're supposed to be.
Exactly. We are out of time, but what a great show.
That's right.
Seriously.
Hey, we'll talk the whole show.
Yes, he
too.
did. That's because he's not on camera. But we're going to work that out too. Well, he is on camera on the YouTube, though.
Yeah.
But the reality is, ladies and gentlemen, Men with Vision is really here to educate.
That's right.
You know, we're still focused on helping men get to where they need to be at. That is our focus. But at the end of the day, when we have our show now, we're just talking a variety of topics that's going to benefit everybody.
Everybody.
Because right now the separation can happen. We can still reach men the way we need to, but on Tuesday nights our topics are going to be geared towards everybody. Although every now and then it may be a man-only topic. So listen, thank you for joining us. Let me update you a couple of things. We will not be on the air next Tuesday because it's the first Tuesday. And somebody else has our time slot on Tuesday. And besides, Mike and I have a meeting anyway. So therefore, we won't be on next Tuesday, but we'll be on the following Tuesday, Lord willing. So, we just encourage you and ask you to continue to pay attention.
Yes.
Continue to see what's going on out there. Next thing, that we want, and this is what's really driving home to me, and I know people are not going to like when I say this, but I'm going to say it anyway, because I don't care, I'm a grown up. The end of time is drawing near every day. If you are paying attention, people are dying every day at a rapid rate. And I'm not talking about people who are sick and elderly who you sort of expect to die. I'm talking about the 12-year-old boy or the 14-year-old girl or the 20-year-old man who's been shot and murdered. I'm talking about the young boy who's got cancer, the young girl who's got cancer. People are leaving this earth every day. Time is winding down, ladies and gentlemen. And I know, once again, the influences of other religions, and I'm not knocking nobody's religion, but I'm going to tell you tonight what I believe. I believe in the one true God. I believe in Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Plain and simple. Facebook, if you block me, shame on you. But that's what I believe. And if you want to go to heaven, because I believe in heaven, I'm doing everything that I can. We are, the three of us, to make sure we get to heaven.
Right.
There's been enough hell here.
That's right.
So I really want to go someplace we don't have to do all this
I want
craziness.
someplace cool.
Cool.
That's right. Paradise.
But if you do not have a relationship with Jesus Christ, I seriously, we urge you to seriously get one. Because you don't know, we could walk out this door today the way things are going and get shot.
That's right.
Just that simple. That's the reality that we're living in. So please consider it. It's not that complicated. You just need to confess your sins, ask the Lord Jesus Christ to come into your life, believe on his name, and you are saved. It's not that complicated. And then get into a Bible teaching church.
That's right.
Please get into a real Bible preaching church where you can really truly learn and be taught the word of God. And I promise you, I'm not saying your life is going to be 100%, but I promise you, if you start following the principles and the teachings, your life will be better. And you'll be able to handle the crazy things that we all have to go through.
That's right.
Okay? So listen, I'm Tom.
I'm Mike.
I'm Hayward.
And we are Men with Vision. Thank you for joining us tonight. And the Lord willing, we will see you in 2 weeks. Just follow our posts that are on Facebook. And we'll announce something new we're going to do when we come back in 2 weeks. God bless you.
God bless you.
Wow. That was a great show. That was 77 views right now by itself.
Okay, so